All right. Good evening and welcome to the Eureka Springs CAPC meeting for June 28, 2023 at 6 p.m. Let's do roll. David Avanzino.
Present.
Chris Jones.
Here.
Steve Holyfield.
Here.
And Chris Clifton here.
Mark's absent.
And Mark Hicks is absent. I don't really have much comment-wise, other than welcome, and hopefully we can have an expedient meeting. Approval of minutes. I know everyone's excited about this, particularly the city. First one to approve is last month's meeting from May 24th.
Motion to approve the minutes from May 24th, 2023.
Second.
I have a motion from David Avanzino to approve the meetings from May 24th, 2023, second by Steve Holyfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So passed. And then the next is 4 minutes that City Hall says they're missing. 2 were from 2022, December, and all the way back in March, December 28th, 2022, and March 29th, 2022, as well as March 8th and March 13th, 2023.
I move to accept the minutes for the March 29th, 2022 CAPC meeting.
Second.
I have a motion from Steve Holyfield to approve the minutes from March 29th, 2022 meeting, second by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed.
I move that we accept the minutes from the December 28th, 2022 regular meeting, CAPC.
Second.
I have a motion from Steve Holyfield to pass the minutes from the regular meeting, December 28th, 2022, seconded by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move we accept the special meeting minutes from March 8th, 2023 at 3 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion from Steve Holyfield to approve the special meeting minutes from Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, second by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye. I move we accept the minutes from the executive session Wednesday, March 13th, 2023 at 3 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion to approve minutes from the executive session Wednesday, March 13th, 2023 by Steve Holyfield, second by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Yay. We have that taken care of. Financials. Let's move on to financials. Scott, do you want to lead us through this?
Sure. I forwarded all the copies I have before you through email yesterday, so you'd have time to review them, including a analysis of some of the accounts. For May 31st, 2023, the balance at May 31st, 2023 was $1,852,839.71. Under Section A of that summary, where we compare our actual collections to budget for the month of May, for food and beverage, our actual collections was $101,976. Our budgeted amount for that month for food and beverage was $85,000. That's an increase of $16,976, or 20% above budget. Under lodging, we had actual collections of $91,416, budget amount of $80,000. That's an increase of $11,416, or 14% above budget. Total collections for the month of May for both food, beverage, and lodging was $193,392, compared to the budget for those two categories, $165,000. That's an increase of $28,392, which represents a 17% increase based on total collections.
How much were we down in lodging last month in April? Do you remember?
I don't recall that. I just don't recall that number right now.
It seemed like it was like 9%, but I don't remember the number.
I know that now we're in the double digits, so
Okay.
I think it was 9. On our year-to-date collections for January through May of 2023, we have received $762,823. Our budget for that same period of time was $675,000. That is an increase of $87,823, or 13%. So our collections are really picking up for the month as we move into our summer months here. If you look in section, is there any questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Under section B, this is interesting because we start comparing what we did May of last year. If you look in the column, it says May 2023. Those numbers are listed above in section A. I won't repeat those, but if you look next to that column where it's May of 2022, you can see under food and beverage where we have increased $15,826, or 19% more in collections for 2023 versus 2022 for the month of May for food and beverage. Also under lodging, we've collected for the month of May $91,416. May of 2022, we had collected $75,772. And that's an increase of $15,644, or 21%. So and you've got to remember this, our budget for this year, our total budget is $2,300,000. And for 2022, it was $1,796,000. So that's a $504,000 increase between the 2 years. And we're, for the month of May alone, we're increased quite a bit of money there. So I think we budgeted conservatively, but we won't know until we get to about the fourth quarter. So
You think we budgeted conservatively?
I'd say yes.
So, in just my opinion, I kind of thought we're in better shape than what I anticipated. I thought it was going to be a little rockier this year. We're coming off 2 really hot years. And, I mean, I'm happy. I think it's great. But
I honestly I believe that with what we've done different this year versus last year, we have a lot more activities going on social media. We have a lot more going on in our local businesses that's being promoted. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of activities going on here in the auditorium, and we've got a lot of good connections in the business community working with what can we do to help you be successful.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I think a big piece of that is, like you said, more things going on, and a lot of that credit goes to the community too.
Correct.
Eureka Springs is like no other when it comes to putting on stuff. It's pretty impressive. It really is.
Today at the car show, the Great Race Car Show at the end of the Ozarks, it was amazing to see the vehicles, but it was amazing to see the responses to the people participating and coming here for the first time. They were just, I kept hearing this is such a neat place for a small town. I can't wait to come back. I mean, I heard that over and over and over. They really received Southern hospitality today, and they knew it was genuine. So that's the Eurekan spirit, and I think that's what's different now than it has been in the past. So that's my opinion.
Okay.
Also, if you look at the last line on that sheet, it shows year-to-date collections January through May. As of May 2023, we've collected $762,823, but this time last year, January through May of 2022, we had received $655,564. So we're ahead of comparing those 2 years. For those 5 months, we're up $107,259, which is 16%. So based on that number alone, I would say we did budget conservatively. But on the other hand, we won't know until we get to the end of the year. But with what we've got planned now that we're working on for the fourth quarter, for November, December, marching into January of next year, I don't see these numbers coming down. I just don't. There's no way.
You're braver than I am. I'm an under promise, over deliver kind of guy.
So that's sheet A1.
That's right.
Moving to sheet A3, one of the things I noticed for the month of May was, and this is, I checked my numbers, they're right, 93% of the food sales was attributed to restaurants. That's high. I think it's good.
What's different usually? What is it normally?
It's usually, I would say, in the 60%
Really?
percentile, yeah.
So where's the rest of it?
Well, it's broken down in those categories
The
under
other ones?
cafe, it's food truck, et cetera. That's a good number, and I'm really interested to know.
Well, do we have less food trucks this year?
I don't think so.
Well, that one's gone.
We have a few less, but the ones we do have are very good at what they do. They're doing good sales.
There was the one that, the Great Burger.
Is it
Outer limits.
Outer Limits?
They moved to Berryville.
Yeah, it's
They
gone.
moved that
That
one.
was a pretty good one, wasn't it?
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Moving down to the lodging section, and by the way, 53% of the total revenue was from the food category. Moving to the lodging section, as you'll see, under like hotel was 28%, motel was 38%, the B&B was 14, and then the Airbnb check was 12. So you could say that 26% of the lodging represents B&B reservations and visits, and that represents a total of 47% of our 100% budget for May.
Do you know if any of those segments were up or down?
Pardon me?
You know if any of those segments were up or down?
I think they're stable. Some of them were up, some of them were stable. I'll put it like that.
Might
That's
be
what I saw.
helpful if we had
Percentage.
percentages
Well, I
of
know,
like
you're right.
versus.
For some reason, I didn't put that on there. I was thinking about something else, but on mine, I caught it.
Of like versus the, somehow we can like look at versus the last month or what the percent
Okay.
normally is even for the year.
I think.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Maybe May last year.
You want a
Yeah.
comparison between,
Maybe May last year and.
okay,
What it was May last year and what it is
That's a
this
good.
year.
That's
Yeah, year over
month
year.
to month.
I can do that
Right.
probably tomorrow and send it to you because I've got it on
Good
Excel.
point, Steve.
That's a good idea. Okay. I hope all of you had the time to read the email I sent you regarding an explanation of the budgets under expenditures under A4. I don't know if you want me to go through them or not, or I wanted to give you information so you could have your questions ready. If not, I can go through it, but does anybody have any questions? Or
No.
the month of May, we received, I won't say a lion's share, but a majority of our expenditures were related to advertising and invoices coming in, of which I sent you so you could see those. So if you look under those categories such as research and planning, which is account 5022, that payment of $12,250 was representative of an invoice I received for services.
Was that the parks?
That was,
Well, not parks, but,
that's Paradise.
oh, it is Paradise. Okay.
But if you look at anything to do with advertising and production, those figures are related to Paradise invoices that I received and paid during the month of May.
But they line up, I mean, the dollar amount lines up with our contract, and they're giving you a spreadsheet now, right, to,
They don't,
tracker.
they send me estimates, they send me invoices, I track both, and I've gotten good at, I can key in this information quickly that they send me for my own Excel spreadsheet, but I don't rely on them to give me that
Right.
information.
but they send you a tracker as well, kind of a budget tracker. They were supposed to.
Yes,
Yeah.
you could call it that. I do it differently, but
Okay.
I'll verify what I get, I'll put it that way.
Good.
Under account 5043, under holidays, there was $12,500 spent. That's where we reimbursed the city for holiday decorations. And under account 5056, auditorium renovations, that part of that total was $12,000. I can't remember, I think $400. We had some I had a 10-ton compressor go out, and we had some work and some renovations on some different repairs that needed to be done out there, plus some thermostats replaced. That should not be that high next month. And let's see. Okay. If something we need to probably discuss on the next page is,
I have one question real quick.
Mhm.
Odd security?
I can't hear you.
How do you pay for odd security? I mean, who is it?
I can't, I'm sorry.
Odd security on
That's the cost of the
six.
police officers here providing security for auditorium
Do we hire
concerts.
off-duty police officers, Rica Springs?
Yes, yes. I separated and broke that line item out this year because that cost and parking and ushers, and there was quite a few expenditures going under one category, but I thought we need to break that out so that it can be seen as to where we're spending our money. That's why that's there.
Good.
Yeah.
Also, you'll see under account 6076, that's the cost of ushers for that month. We had, I think we had 2 shows here, but that was the cost for having a staff of ushers, that would include the concession also.
Right.
On the second page, under account 6040, promotional materials, we had influencers from Canada come into town, and we wanted to provide them some gifts and souvenirs, and that was what's related to that cost next to that of $321. Under account 6099, office contingency, of the $1,665 that was spent, $1,431 was related to the replacement of a laptop that actually,
You might, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you might back up and elaborate a little bit, because we know, but not everyone does, that the influencers from Canada were actually with the Arkansas State Tourism, right?
I want to let Caitlin talk to you about it, because I was at a meeting and I could not attend, but they were heavily involved with talking to the influencers at that point in time.
Well, I don't know if we need all that. I just wanted, for anyone that watches this, so they understand it wasn't just some Canadian influencers.
These are right.
Someone that, someone that you met online or something.
No.
But this was
These were writers that were writing about
Scott's dating
destination.
service.
No.
This was.
See, my mind doesn't think like that.
I
I
know,
think in
but
numbers.
this was
and-
Arkansas. It was the state of Arkansas Tourism Department brought these folks here. So I just wanted to clarify that.
That is
That's
correct.
it. Okay,
I'm sorry, I didn't.
that's okay. That's an important point.
Okay.
Is there anything else we need to know about A4?
The only other concern I have is we really need to address a budget issue for marketing support, which is account 5067. Right now, at this very moment, we are going to have to increase that amount by $3,775 in order to cover the request that's been approved by the commission. So if there are any other further marketing support requests approved, then you would have to add that amount to the $3,775 so that I can adjust that budget.
Is that something we need to do now, or can we do it?
You can do it
at
later.
the end of the year?
You can do it later when we do
'Cause
budget adjustments. But
The
I just
amount
want-
will be tracked in the reports each month.
Correct.
Right, and then So,
But I just wanted to alert you now because you may or may not have additional funding requests.
what do you recommend? You're the financial expert.
I think it's going to change between, again, a couple of times between now and the end of the year, so I would probably leave it as it is
Okay.
because I'm tracking it and I know where we stand, but that's what I would do.
As long as it's reflected in, the report. And then if someone thinks differently, feel free to make a motion.
I also provided in an email to you a list of approved funding requests and the dates they were approved by the commission. And I sent you a 2-page Excel spreadsheet of the invoices received for Paradise Advertising year-to-date, because we're at that point in time where it's a year-to-date time to talk about things like this. That's all I have.
Like our delinquency report is looking much better on D1.
I'm sorry, I've got bad hearing.
D1, our delinquency report looks much better than it looked a few months ago, so.
Any questions, comments?
Can I ask a question? Does the commission, does it help? I know it does, but does the commission enjoy reading my analysis I send to you of the financials to give you time to look at these before you get into the meeting? Because it just gives you more opportunities to ask questions and
Yep.
maybe later on or today. So it takes time, but it's what we should do to help you understand.
Good.
Okay. If there's no questions, entertain a motion to approve financials.
Make a motion to approve the financials.
Second?
Got a motion from David Avanzino to approve May financials, seconded by Steve Holyfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And approved.
Thank you.
Good job, Scott.
Thank you
Great.
very much.
Thank you. Public comments. Since we moved in the basement, we're missing some of our friends that made public comments.
Are you complaining?
No, well, I mean, we are. I don't understand.
Do you miss the excitement?
Was it?
Not the hostile people that are yelling at us and stuff.
That's entertaining.
What is it? One way to put it.
It's good to hear. Any public comments? No? We do have a funding, Damon's passing up an opportunity to speak. This is amazing. We do have agenda updates. If anyone wants to add to the agenda, I had gotten a request from Steve to put something on there. Otherwise, let's go to funding requests. And I believe that would be Basin, Suzanne. Come on up.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Kearley. I'm Director of Sales for Group Events at both the Crescent and the Basin Park Hotel. So I'm presenting a request that was submitted to you a couple of weeks ago and here to answer any questions that you may have. This is regarding the Arkansas State Parks Recreation and Travel Commission meeting that is scheduled to be in Eureka Springs in mid-October of this year. So the dates are Wednesday, October 18th, and Thursday, October 19th.
Can I talk a little,
Of
if you don't
course.
mind?
Of course.
So Jack called me, kind of looking for direction. He didn't want this to appear that
Yes.
his group is, how do you put it? He didn't really want to drive this bus. and he thinks the CAPC should be. And I agree, that's just my opinion. But since we haven't been, or the CAPC hasn't, I thought it was appropriate to go ahead and do a funding request so we can all understand this and hopefully move forward in whatever direction the commission agrees on. But this is a piece where Arkansas State Parks and basically the decision makers for Arkansas advertising for tourism are coming to town with their folks. It's a chance for us to really showcase Eureka Springs. It definitely is part of our mission of promoting Eureka Springs. And so it seems to me that it's a good thing for us to try to partner with them when we can and work together with the state. So does that help any?
Yes, and if I could make 2 points.
Yes.
This commission, as you probably know, they travel around the state rather than have their meetings in central Arkansas in the Little Rock area. They travel around to different regions of Arkansas so they can learn and they can see where their money is best spent. So again, they haven't been with us since October of 2020 for obvious reasons. And then they made a request to come back and spend some time with us in fall of this year, primarily because of the fall foliage and to see how dynamic this town is year-round, but especially in the fall.
So if I remember right, it's a tour for them. They'll be staying at the basin. I
Yes.
think that's out of y'all's pocket.
Yes.
The tour will be, so it says Joe Gunnell shuttles to Thorn Crown, the Bike Hub, and looking at the opera under construction. Go to the Fire Tower by Razorback Gift Shop to see the sunset. Is that correct? And dinner at La Stick. One thing, it said up to 3 CAPC commissioners. I would recommend, I know me personally, I'm not going to do it. I don't think we should. That's just me. I think staff, it's appropriate. You guys may feel differently. I don't know. It's like a really nice restaurant, and I don't want people thinking I'm trying to go get a free meal, personally. Now, I'd like to meet them if you guys have some kind of reception at Basin. I'd like to go do that.
Yes.
And maybe I'm too cautious.
I guess I'm curious to know, can we even fund something like a dinner?
Yeah, I believe that's a fairly normal function of the CAPC typically would be to bring in influencers. And this is even more than that since it's a state group. Because ultimately we want to, they're advertising the state. So.
But it's not you bringing them in. It's another third party.
Yeah.
You need a contract for service if you want to do it right.
Do what?
You need a contract for service for them to take care of it via you guys initiate a contract that says the Basin Park takes care of it. Here's the money to do that. Marketing funds are for advertising. You're not advertising. You're asking for a contract to take care of a very needed service.
So,
My only concern with what the request is, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, but isn't there an advertising agency from Little Rock involved with this on the tour?
CJRW.
To my
Yeah.
knowledge, that is
Yeah.
the state of Arkansas's advertising
Account, their
agency.
reps.
And then
Yeah.
they in turn promote the entire state.
Yeah.
Okay.
And decide how those funds are spent.
well, maybe-
And also to note is the funds, if granted, would only cover their dinner and their transportation. That is all. I mean, that is where those funds would go for their visit while they're here.
And this is in October. We have time to vet it probably through the attorney. Want to do that?
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
My only question is, providing dinner, a private dinner, to the mayor, CAPC, and invitees. How many people are coming down for
There'll be
this?
30 coming from the Little Rock area and then the commissioners from around the state.
So
We're expecting 30.
I thought we did a line item for the director to entertain anyway, so that would be a different thing. So I really could have been wrong having it come as a funding request. So
Yeah, I would,
the direction, and I agreed, is that we are the ones that should be receiving groups like this and hosting them. And, rather than someone else. And that's where Jack was coming from, that they don't want it to look like this is their people or something, and but the ball had been dropped before, and they wanted to make sure it wasn't. So,
yeah, I think if we could just, Scott, maybe check with the attorney and make sure that this is within our purview to do something like this. Because I've never seen it come across this commission before.
as a funding request.
Correct.
Yeah. I think he can do it as a,
Contract of service.
yeah, just paying.
Yeah,
But I want to make sure
Yeah, that's.
we all agree on that, right?
Is our Parks and Rec involved in this as well?
We certainly can involve them. Again, we were just wanting to present this and we can fine tune
Yeah.
it so that everyone feels
I appreciate
included.
y'all taking the lead on this and then making, that's pretty good.
So we'll
And
provide their
hopefully
meeting
we pick it
space
up.
and again, there'll be a commission meeting where we can all attend, where there's an audience, so we can all attend. And it's recorded, so you can also see it if you can't.
What do you
attend.
mean? There's a commission meeting? When?
They will get here on that Wednesday,
Oh.
and they'll have a short meeting. Then on Thursday morning, they'll have about a 3-hour commission
Oh, they'll
meeting.
have their meeting. Okay.
Yeah, and that's their reason for coming, is to have their meeting here. Any of us can attend.
Cool.
And then they'll be on their way.
Okay,
I would like to see our parks people at least invited, so
yeah.
the director, Sam, or somebody.
Okay, so we're going to figure out legally what's the best way to do it. Sounds like, right?
Right.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't think we have a motion tonight, but
Right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will check with our attorney in the morning.
And that was the only funding request? Okay. I wasn't sure the best way to bring that, so.
yeah, that's a
But-
tricky one.
Huh?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah. Paradise Monthly Report.
Hello, guys. Good evening.
It's like he was waiting.
No worries. Let me grab the deck, put it on the screen. All right, so this is the monthly report for May 2023. You guys can see it okay? Yeah, okay. So it's on the screen. All right, so we'll start with Zartico Insights. 45% of observed visitors stayed overnight in May, and that's on par with trends so far through January through April 2023, but trending down a little bit over May 2022. In May, 86% of the visitors came from out of state, consistent with the rates so far in 2023. Kansas City market continues to be the #1 visitor market in May. These visitors are most likely to stay overnight. Springfield was the #2, trending up from January through April. Both markets are top target markets for Paradise Media this year. For in-market spending, food continues to lead the way, followed by accommodations and retail. A reminder that these credit card swipes, while in-market, this is on par with trends so far in 2023, holding steady with the 2022 numbers. The average visitor spend in May decreased from 167 to 159 compared to May 2023, and decreased from 172 when compared to April. And then May saw the Crescent Hotel remain the top visitor POI, followed in order by Basin Park Hotel, Best Western, Inn of the Ozarks, Nelson Sloan Tavern, the Grotto Woodfire Grill, Wine Cave, Eureka Daily Roast, Shop, and Body Shop. All right, so where are the visitors from your destination coming from? 86% for the Zartico data is coming from out of state, with 13.9% coming from in-state overnight versus day trip visitors. Overnight is at 45%, and day trip visitors are at 56%. How does the destination's average visitor spend compare to last year? So yeah, we went from 167 to 159 right now. We talked about the points of interest. Just in a chart so you can kind of see how it levels out. All right, so for the monthly report, we didn't have the tax numbers to put in here this month, but obviously you guys just went through them, so as soon as we get those, we'll put those into the chart to keep this current. but it does sound like we continue to increase with the tax revenue collection, which is obviously fantastic news. So for May, just a summary of what we've been doing from an advertising and marketing standpoint. We continue to monitor and optimize the spring campaign, which concluded on 5/14. We launched the summer media campaign on 5/23. Continued planning and strategy for the fall/winter campaign. Provided the social media monthly calendars for June, and obviously you guys will be taking over the organic social in July, but we will be delivering the June calendar just so you guys, the July calendar just so you guys have it as reference if you want to use it. We provided the monthly social media calendar for June. I talked about that. Provided ongoing web maintenance support for the CAPC staff. We worked out the tax form. We got up and working. I've seen lots of submissions on that, so it seems like that's working really well for the community. And special thanks to Danielle. She worked really hard with me to make sure that we got that up and running, so that was great. And then we've also just worked on some fine tuning with some random submission errors that were popping up, but I think we've got a solve for that now. So I think we should be good, but of course, let us know if any gremlins come up and we'll take a quick look at it. And then of course, weekly status meetings with the staff and sending the monthly reports. And again, this is an abbreviated report for this meeting. You guys have the full report that's much longer. All right, public relations. I continue to be proactive in outreach to publications, keeping seasonality and affordable travel at the forefront of the messaging, pitched outdoor activities, summer travel, and road trip destinations. Responded to media queries for best places in the Ozarks. Liaison with Sherry Cohn, a writer for various outlets, including AAA Southern Explorer and Louisiana Life magazine, and then of course vetted the incoming media requests on an ongoing basis. So you guys forward those to us, and we help vet those and let you know what our thoughts are on those. So some of the results for public relations in May. You can see just a clip sheet of different things that were in there, little things, MSN, Travel Curator, Woodor's Travel, and then the impressions were valued at about 1 million for May. We look at Adara, so we see how we're doing through the year. So the observed data from Adara, this is people that are seeing the ads and following through to book. So far we've had 33 direct bookings that we can see and 56 flight bookings. And then the enriched data is basically because they take dark notes from their experience that not everybody follows through to book exactly when they see the ad, but they have clicked on it and they may just go directly to a website to book. So they calculate about 678 bookings and 100 flight bookings just on an algorithm they have. But obviously that we take that a little bit with a grain of salt, but it is true that more people are seeing the ads, clicking on it, but maybe booking at a different time. Not everyone's ready to book right then. According to Adara, the top markets continue to be Kansas City for hotels, Little Rock, Tulsa, Springfield, Denver, Oklahoma City, St. Louis, Topeka, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. And flight bookings is Denver with 14.3%, Chicago, Houston, Las Vegas, Newark, Seattle, New York, Sacramento, and San Francisco. Okay, so for paid media, Adara's ad campaign launched in April and continued through mid-May. Wrapping with the spring media on 5/14, we had over 1 million impressions. Clicks to the site was 742, click-through rate of 0.7, which is well above the industry average. For those exposed to the Adara ads in May, almost $9,000 in ad spend, and we can see the hotel searches of 149, bookings of 3, flight searches of 157, flight bookings of 7, average length of stay 2 nights, and average days from booking to arrival, which is always interesting, is 41, and the average ADR was 114. Okay, so for paid media results, the spring campaign continued and market included on 5/14, like I mentioned. This included Google, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Adara, DigDev, Mobile Views, and Staggerus. The tactics include display banners, native ads, digital audio, e-blast, and targeting banners and streaming TV. So we had a total impressions over 1.2 million, clicks 11,000, click-through rate 0.94, and the benchmark for those banners is 0.08, so it's very good. Total video views is 166 with a video completion rate of 80, industry standard is 70. And top performing media partner for May is DigDev, retargeting banners served to those who have previously received an e-blast with a 0.44 click-through rate. So that's really good. Paid media, the top creative set for that month, for the month of May, was with an extremely strong 2.47 click-through rate, was a 300 by 600, and it was a reveal type ad, which you can see the 3 frames at the bottom. And the top performing native ad with a strong click-through rate of 1.12 was kayaking and outdoors. Again, on the bottom, you can see it's well above industry average. That's great. In May, the spring campaign generated a high click-through rate of 1.84. There were decreases in impression, post-engagement, and clicks due to the campaign only running for a short period of time and with less spend during the final month. But the impressions was about 500,000, about 5,000 for post-engagement, clicks around 10,000, and a click-through rate of 1.84, nicely above the 0.9. And then we have a top performing ad over here with 6,500 clicks. Paid media for Google search, obviously very, very important. We saw a phenomenal click-through rate of 34%, which pushed the average click-through rate to well above the industry benchmark. So we're looking at 1,100 clicks, an average click-through rate of 25.87 with an industry benchmark of 4, and the CPC of 39 with an industry benchmark of 154. Most of the time we're trying to get like 110 for the cost per click. So this is working. This means that all the retooling and all the maintenance that we're doing on the paid search Google words is doing really well. That's an incredibly high click-through rate, so that's great to know. The top performing ad was places to visit in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, curious indeed, and this was the one. When we do Google paid search, we always include a picture. You'll see when you guys search Google, sometimes there's not a picture on other people that do things. We always try to include a picture because that really does increase click-through rates. So we're really excited about the paid search. Social media organic. For May, the annual content strategy was implemented across all the social media platforms. We completed the June 2023 content calendar. We reviewed that with the team, got comments, and then we implemented. That was being implemented now in June. So for the out-of-market audiences, here were the top performing ones on Instagram and Facebook. Engagement of about 554, engagement of about 472. And then Facebook, you can see over here with around 3,000 and about 2,000 there. And then for your in-house local audiences, these were great as well. These are the top performing ones we can see. Obviously, the Blues Party did fantastic, 11,000 organic reach with an engagement of 3,294. So that was great. So there was a nice mix there between targeting out of town and then the local work that you guys are doing. And to Scott's point at the very beginning, obviously the community is really rallying behind getting you guys a lot of submissions. It seems like the website is becoming easy for everyone to use. So we're getting events, getting listings. So we're really excited about that. So that's fantastic. And then the website, the number of users decreased from April to May, but of course that's to be expected with the spring media campaign concluding mid-month. Traffic is, of course, expected to increase in June with the launch of the summer media campaign. That's just a natural flow when you turn off the spigot for a couple of weeks. There was also a decrease in bounce rate, 55% versus 65% in April, and a significant increase in the average session duration, 2.19 versus 1.32. And I think that probably comes down to a lot with the events, right? People are spending more time on the site because they're seeing a lot more events to do. They're clicking on something, they're learning about it, they're going back, trying to see what else they can do. So all the work that you guys are doing on the ground is paying off across the board, and obviously website is one of those. Traffic source for the website saw a large shift for the second month with more diverse sessions by channel, a larger percentage from direct traffic, 38.4%, and a decrease from paid media traffic, all of which can be expected given the timing of the spring campaign. So those are kind of weighted because we turned off the spigot with the advertising for a few weeks until we started the summer campaign. The most viewed pages in May, excluding the home page, of course, were events, no surprise there, appearing for the first time on the news website as #1. So again, that's proof that all the work that you guys are doing to get the community to submit events and all the promotion we're doing around it with the social media, that's the first time it's been number one besides the home page. So that's good proof that things are working. And then the top states for visitation for the website saw a shift from previous months. It's now Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, and Illinois, respectively. These are some sessions and times on site. I won't go through all these, but you have them in the full report. So you can look at those, and if you have any questions, you can let us know. There it is right there. Number one, after the homepage, that's fantastic. With things to do, attractions, things to do, outdoor activities, food and drink, arts and culture, and just kind of goes down from there. But again, it's always nice to be able to see the work that we're doing is working across the board. So that's very, very exciting. Next steps, we're obviously in the middle of doing the summer media campaign now in June. The fall winter media campaign will be presented in the next week or so. We presented some ideas of influencer content to be, and then we're going to round back and talk about that probably after the holiday. Ongoing planning around Pikes Booze Barbecue. We submitted some ideas. We're going to have some follow-up conversations on that to see if there's anything we can do to help. Continue to provide support with requests, updates, and content development. I mean, again, as you guys know, our whole goal with this website was to hand it over to you guys. We just do kind of maintenance in the background and stuff, but I think that the team there is doing a fantastic job. We continue to give them the information they need, passwords and all that stuff. And we're always available in case something, goes wrong or whatever, and you need help on a weekend, you can always call us and we'll help you figure that out. But the transition's been really smooth with that so far, so that's great. And then we've been working with Zartico. We're defining some POIs. We're going to be tracking. We're going to work on some maps, maybe some of the things like where do people go after an event at the odd? Are they going to one part of town for after event drinks or dinner, and there's another part of town being a little left out? If we know that, we can plan. We can market accordingly, make sure that we're spreading the love around to all the partners in the destination if we feel like there's the need to do that. So that is May 2023. And I just want to thank everyone for all the help to make that a great month. And we're in the midst of the summer campaign, so again, a lot of those figures that went down, it makes perfect sense because we turned off the spigot, but the spigot is now full blast, and I think we're going to have a fantastic June report to share with you guys.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Any questions?
All right.
I know.
No? All right. You
All right.
did such a
All
great
right, you guys
job
have any-
explaining. There's next questions.
Okay, great. Well, then again, if you guys have any questions after you read the full report, I'm always available to jump on a call. So, all right.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you guys. Have a great night. We'll talk soon.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, next up, we've got the title of the item is CAPC Policy for Solicitation. So the background on this is I don't know if you call it rumor or whatever, but in the past, there's been some strife with when people solicit to the CAPC, and previous administration or whatever, the communication not being good or not understanding how that should work and those sorts of things. So Scott got with the attorney to get an idea of a possible way to frame that, and perhaps, now Mark's not here tonight, so maybe we want to workshop this, but this is a proposal of like something to put on the website to help people understand the process for soliciting business to the CAPC.
I suggest we do the workshop
Okay?
so we can talk about it.
So I wanted to get this in front of everyone so you could take a look at what he had put together. Next item, CAPC meeting structure,
I've been going back and forth with this. I like to also move this to the workshop.
because Mark's not here. Yeah. Okay. Commissioner comments? Mr. Holyfield?
Me?
Sure.
We still have 2 vacancies on this commission. That makes me really nervous. If someone gets sick and has to leave or something, we could be down below the 4 required to make decisions. So anybody out there who owns a restaurant or lodging that wants to be on our commission, we promise we won't hurt you or belittle you or anything like that. I think our commission's got much more civil in the last few months.
Yeah.
And
And your general managers.
and general managers. Yeah, so if anybody knows anybody out there who wants to be on the commissions, please encourage them. And stay cool out there, 100 degrees tomorrow.
David?
I think it's great that the hotels, restaurants, and all the attractions out there are getting their events submitted on the website. It looks really good. It looks very clean. And I've heard a lot of feedback that that's how people are finding events in town, other than the individual Facebook events and whatnot. So keep those events coming. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to call Caitlin. She will guide you in the right direction.
Chris? You're not new anymore, so you got to talk now. She always,
I'm
new.
writing. I'm not writing anymore? I'm not writing anymore.
Oh, I don't.
I'm writing all this down.
Okay.
No. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to echo Caitlin, great job. Danielle, you too, of course. But Caitlin doing a great job on some of the website events, and some of that stuff's really good. And Scott's doing all right.
We're trying real hard.
That's why we put him over there by himself. So.
Yep. All right. We got a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion by Steve Holyfield to adjourn, seconded by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.